How's it going, everybody? Andy McCullough from the Los Angeles Times, Dylan Hernandez, also of the Los Angeles Times. And Dylan, there's a new sheriff in town. His name is Walker Buehler. What do you think?
Walker, Texas Ranger. Where's he from? No, he's not.
Kentucky.
Yeah,
Lexington,
okay.
Kentucky.
Like Blaschke.
Yes.
Greatness comes from Kentucky.
And
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
The best columnist in the nation and the best pitcher on the Dodgers rotation
in the last month.
The
best fried chicken in the country.
And the best fried chicken in the country. All of it was on display today here at Dodger Stadium, where Walker Buehler pitched a gem. 6 2/3 innings of one-hit baseball as the Dodgers won their 6th National League West crown in a row, just as we've been predicting all along.
Yeah, you know, even when they were really bad, even as Blaschke was writing that they should be selling off their parts.
Yeah, and
I said, this is a horrible division.
Yeah.
There is no way they're not going to just like end up backing up somehow into the title, and they sure enough did.
Yeah,
I'm 163 games, but
I'm really glad I spent the last 6 months documenting how inconsistent and at times outright bad this team was. I feel really good about all my definitive statements about this club. You know, yeah, they eventually played to their talent level, and they did just enough to outlast the Rockies, as you said. It took a pretty strong stretch from the Rockies to even get to 163. But they showed pretty clearly today they're a better team, and they're set up pretty well hosting the Atlanta Braves on Thursday. So it's so funny because like 4 days ago we're like, are they even going to make the playoffs? And now it's like, oh, they're the 2 seed. They should pretty easily advance. They're a favorite over the Braves, and they might even be a favorite if they face Milwaukee, the number 1 seed.
Yeah, because I think that the Braves are kind of young, and also I think we saw today why they could be kind of a dangerous playoff team. When you have 2 ace type guys going, the power kind of makes a difference. You're right. Earlier in the season when they were losing, a lot of it was they weren't hitting those home runs, right? And as soon as they kind of started hitting the home runs, and when you have those close games, those 1 or 2 runs usually kind of make the difference.
For sure.
So we kind of saw that today. Obviously, Buehler. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a mistake.
Yeah, you've been real locked in on Dodgers decisions this weekend.
Yeah, because I don't know, like with a kid, right? And it's the same reason I don't like Atlanta. It's a young team,
right?
Come to this stage of the season, I like, experience. And
for sure.
Now this kid did show. I think that's the thing, right? A lot of times you see a promising talent, and you're kind of like, well, maybe he's the once-in-a-generation guy. And we forget that once-in-a-generation really means once-in-a-generation.
Right.
And I think we kind of throw that tag on to too many people.
Sure, for sure.
And, I think we saw it the first time, this was before you were here, but when Kershaw was a kid and they kind of threw him out, didn't go so well. We saw Julio Urias. Obviously, that didn't go so well. Both of those guys, right? I mean, we're legitimate,
I just
really good talents, and yet this kid showed something different.
He's different just in terms of just his level of polish. I mean, he came through an advanced college program where he pitched in big games. He not only pitched in big games, he pitched in big games, hurt, like pitching with a hurt elbow. He learned how to sort of manage through discomfort, which is a skill, I think, that a lot of young pitchers don't have. And, obviously he has a lot of ground to make up in order to catch up to what Clayton Kershaw's accomplished in his career. But I think there's a big difference between Clayton Kershaw in his 2nd year in the majors and Walker Buehler. I mean, there's like 4 years age difference.
Right.
There's a big experience gap in terms of pitching and pressure moments. And so while obviously Buehler has a lot to do to even reach like what Kershaw was doing at the age of 24 in terms of relative experience, he's ahead of him. And so you can kind of see that just with the way he didn't have great stuff today. He just was able to sort of make pitches and get soft contact and get outs against a team that had been really hot.
I mean, if Kershaw's your 3rd best guy potentially going into this playoffs, I think you're in pretty good shape. I like Rich Hill again, as a 4.
Yep.
Again, you take into the account the power in the lineup. The bullpen's kind of coming around. Pedro Baez, our guy,
your guy,
my guy,
our guy. He should be our
He's
guy.
everywhere. He's Los Angeles'
guy. How about
guy.
Pedro Baez getting a standing ovation at Dodger Stadium? Pedro Baez, the thing about Pedro Baez is that a lot of the criticism he's received has been deserved because he has, struggled in really big moments during his tenure. But at the same time, he's also taken a lot of heat. Like, it's tough when, you're booed on opening day or, you're booed jogging out of the mound at your home stadium. And the guy has been tremendous for the past 2 months. And, he's going to be a real big part of what they try and do bullpen-wise. And, that could be disastrous. Or it could lead to, more things like this. I don't know if I ever thought I would see Pedro Baez get a standing ovation in a playoff game at Dodger Stadium.
Well, Kenny Jansen keeps serving him up. I mean, it could be Pedro Baez in the 9th inning.
Yeah, the Jansen thing's a real issue. That's a real issue because...
What did you make of today, though? Okay, they're up 5,
right?
And, in that situation, it's, come on, just don't waste any time. Just throw strikes, make them hit it.
No, I don't. I understand what you're saying, but I think it's not the first time something like this has happened. He's been not right most of the year, and it leads to a really interesting proposition, you know, where like last year in the postseason, the Astros essentially had Ken Giles as their closer and just didn't make him the closer anymore. You know, just by the middle of the playoffs said, you're not closing. We're just going to mix and match every day. And A.J. Hinch has said that was kind of the best thing that happened to the team because he could just put who was ever the hottest or who matched up the best. He didn't have to rely on a hierarchy. And I don't think the Dodgers are at that point. I think Jansen's earned, you know, more rope. At the same time, you know, he's not the guy he was last year, whether it's physical, whether it's, you know, just the wear and tear of, you know, being, you know, pitching so well for so long and so many opportunities, going deep so many times in the postseason. But he has not looked like the guy he was last year, that's for sure. And that's, you know, that's one of the reasons why I think the strength of this team is going to be their starting pitching. And, you know, they might need to have starters get into the 7th inning. You know, they might need to have, you know, Buehler take them deeper than maybe they've been used to. I don't know if they can win taking Rich Hill out after 4 innings the way that they felt like they could win last year. I don't think that. I think the formula.
You know what though? I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think to me, like, it almost kind of felt last year that they were going to, you know, they had too much faith in the bullpen and maybe didn't give the starters enough rope, you know? And even today, like you saw, and I mean, granted, in this situation, you know, it's whatever, take them out, you're up by 5 runs, whatever. But, you know, the fans clearly thought that Buehler could go longer. Buehler himself clearly thought he could go longer. You know? Yeah,
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of situations where maybe they ride the starter longer than they've been expecting, and so fans will love it because they always want the starter to never leave the game. So that'll be great.
Speaking of never leaving, it's like it feels like we're just doing the Game 7 video from last year.
Where's Ben Reiter from SI? Is he here to brag about how he picked them winning the World Series again?
So here we are again, folks.
Here we are.
We're going to be here throughout this whole
another month. They're going to the World Series. You know they are.
No, I think they're getting swept in the first round.
That's what you picked every time.
That's what I'm picking this time.
All right. Well, Landon, Naomi, hopefully Dad will be home for Halloween. Everyone else, you can read our work in the pages of the Los Angeles Times and LAtimes.com/Dodgers. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.